Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a breakdown on the new Evolution 2024. This is the latest one by Harder and Steenbeck. I've done the review on the Ultra and now we're moving over to the Evolution, and what a brush it is, it really is. We're going to do a breakdown today for you guys so you get to see all the internals of the brush. So everyone's looking forward to seeing this one, but I know what's coming next on the H&S range, and it's the Infinite, and that brush is going to blow everybody away because the Evo did it for me when I first picked this brush up. Now the Evolution 2024 is this one here. Now I'm going to bang on about this brush and highly recommend it because I think it is phenomenal, guys. H&S are pushing the boundaries when it comes to brush designs. Everything about it is just the quality in their brushes in 2024 you will not beat. There isn't a brush brand out there that will touch H&S for quality. There really isn't. This is a triple plate chrome airbrush. So if you're used to the old Evolutions like the Silverline what I've got, which is 14 years old, that was a single plate and that's lasted me 14 years and sprays perfect. So this brush will outlive me with ease. It'll be going down to my son when I've passed away and it'll still look mint like it does now. Now the features on this brush that are different to the older brushes, you've got a complete new redesigned trigger, because there's people saying there's a lot of they feel a delay in the older triggers. The new triggers are completely different. You'll notice this when you pick these brushes up and try them. When you press down and pull back for paint, it is absolutely instant on the paint. It's like you just sort of, the minute you press down, before you've even thought about pulling back, it's ready to release paint. It's like absolutely spot on. And I found that testing it in the last video. I did a portrait for you guys with this. Quick portrait, didn't really spend some time with it, but I've got a lot of artwork coming up and this is the brush that I'm going to be using for all the artwork coming up. So a little bit more about the actual brush design. New trigger top as well. So if you're used to the old Evolution, which had the sort of the dome small trigger top, I found that a little bit slim for guys that have got sort of like big hands, because you'll be pressing down on a little tiny trigger top. They've redesigned this and it's a wider sort of dish to the top, so when you put your finger on the top you've got loads of room for the pad of your finger to sit on, so you can instantly find your sweet spot, as I say, on the trigger. Another thing you'll find as well, these triggers go further back. As you can see there, that trigger goes a lot further back than a standard H&S trigger. The reason why they've done this is to speed up your cleaning process when you want to change your paints. Warwick said that the Evolution coming from the Ultra is your next step, which you go into like your advance and you start to speed up. The brush makes you speed up with your painting, and it does. The cleaning process is speeded up. The finishes on the internals of the cups and the bodies are a lot more polished, guys. So when you come to clean it, it just cleans up very, very fast. You're in with your next colour and you're good to go, you're painting again. The good thing what H&S have done is they've kept their modular system as well. So people asking questions about will the needle and nozzle setups fit the new brush to the old brushes? They do. The cups will all interchange. The front head assemblies all interchange, and I think that's really, really good, because if you have got older brushes and you really like the H&S brand, when you move on to a new one, you've got that ability, like I call it like Lego. I always call these brushes, they're sort of like Lego. You can interchange pieces. You could change probably the back end and put a different one on. You can change the front ends. You could use the Geraldes sketch caps on the front of this brush because it's the same head assembly as the Geraldes, where you've got the prong cap to the front. So you can adapt and just utilise your old brushes, mix them up with the new ones and just enjoy the H&S brand, guys. There's not many companies out there where you can interchange things from old to new, and H&S have kept that, and I really like that. When you're moving into 2024, your old brushes aren't abandoned and in a drawer. they're still out and you're still using them, mixing them up with your new ones. So changes to the trigger, loads of changes to the trigger, with it moving back further, comfortable on the top, better trigger response, completely different design on the trigger. And then when you move to the back, you've got your cutaway, so you can see the chuck there, and these chucks are different as well to the old ones. On the actual chucks, they're a lot more sturdy, and it's more easier to undo, to slide the needles out on these as well. The backs of the needles, you've got your little markers, so when you get the twin set of the Evolution, you'll have the little marking gauges on the back of the needle to tell you what needle it is, whether it's the 0.45 or the 0.28. You've also got a self-locating chuck at the back, which makes it a lot user-friendly. When you're putting your needle back into the brush, you're not going to dink and bend the needle. So that's a redesign here as well. It's also redesigned in this piece here on the actual brush. You're going to see that in the breakdown. So big changes, and the changes that they've made you instantly pick up on when you pick the brush up compared to one of the older ones. It just feels like a different beast in your hand, it really does. And they perform better than the original Evolutions. So that's the actual brush. That's the one we're going to strip down in the next clip, and you'll get to see the internals on this. They're just machined properly, guys. Right guys, we are going to do the breakdown on the new Evolution. Now another little quick look at the brush so it's nice and up close. You've got your laser etched Evolution CR+ down the body here. You've got a nice chrome gold, here. And then you've got a gold accent to the back. You've got the gold half moon bar on this piece here. The cups are all interchangeable like the old ones, so you're getting the small cup, you get the bigger cup, and they unscrew exactly like the old ones did, like that, nice and simple. You can buy the micro cups for these, which just sit slightly higher on the body, but you can use these brushes like this. A few drops of paint in there and you're good to go. I would say get the micro cup, because when you put the micro cup on, it covers the threads here. So if you're worried about getting a lot of paint build up on the threads if you're using this like this, just buy the little micro cup that goes on the top and screws in, and it just covers the threads up on this piece here. It's basically a very small version of this little cup here. Machining and the polishing on the insides of these cups, I mean, look at that. Absolutely mint, guys. And this is why these brushes are really nice to clean, because all down in here as well, it's really like highly polished inside. So when you come to clean and flush your paints through, you can pull full back on this trigger like that, and it just clears out really easy. You've got your prong cap like you have on your Infinitec. Brilliant design with H&S on these, because you can just pinch like that and pull away to clean your tip dry, nice and easy. And you can still see your needle when you're working, and you're not going to dink it because you've got your two prongs either side that do the little protect the needle. So really nice to work with, because you've got visibility of your needle when you're up close on detail. Trigger top on these, as I say, really wide on these, so when you put your finger to the top, you've got a lot of room around that there to get your sweet spot. As you can see, the trigger, I'll just move around like that, you can see how far these go back. They go back a lot further than the originals when you pull back, and this helps you blast through and clean. Very smooth action, really is all the way through. You feel it. Some brushes, when you pull back on the triggers, you feel clunkiness, or you hear the spring, or you can feel a grating in the body at the back. This is just silky smooth when you move back. There's no noise, absolutely silky smooth. Body's got the cutaway here, so you can see your chuck there. This is the piece that I'm on about at the back. So when you dial this in right the way in, We'll dial that in. That stops your trigger. You go sort of half a turn and you're instantly getting movement on the trigger. Half a turn again, you've literally got full trigger right the way back. So you can dial this piece in here very quick to the back. Again, when you take the backs off, like the normal H&S's, silky smooth again, guys. Brilliant machining on these and finish. Everything is just precision. It really is. Compared to the older brushes, I mean, the older brushes are good, but these new ones, you're getting so much for your money when you buy one of these. You've got your self-locating chuck to the back here, which I really like. You just undo these. You've got this one on the Ultra as well. You've probably seen this on the Geraldes where you've got the locating chuck. Very nice design. And then on the back of the needles here, you've got your markers. So this one's the 0.28, so you've got a couple of dashes on there for your needle, and they just slide out really easy. And to self-locate, you can put the needles in angles like that, push, and it just locates to the front, finger on the back, one finger there, thumb, and then just nip that up, and it's easy location for your needle. So undo that, take the needle out. If you want to pull your trigger out, you can now hold that at the back, just pull back, pull the spring back, and the triggers just lift out, simple like that. The older triggers had a centre bar where basically you'd usually get the tops of the trigger top and that would spin all the way around. These are like a square bar now that goes down the actual trigger, and you've still got your sort of half moon piece, but these now, they move like this as well. So you've got this motion here, which all counteracts when you're moving back with the trigger. It now slides up inside that centre sleeve there when you move back. To locate it, pull back, get your trigger, and just drop it in like that, nice and simple. Drop it in, let go of the spring at the back, and that's your trigger in. Silky smooth. So to release it, just pull back, pull your trigger out. You can undo the body at the back. That's your brush, broke down. Front prong cap comes off. Undo your front head assembly. Take your floating nozzle out, like that. So that's your brush, broke down. If you want to take this piece out, and you can see there, see the machining on that? How precision that machining is? And when you pull back with this, that is just absolutely silky smooth. The way that's been machined on that, it just glides, and you'll feel this when you move back on the trigger. Everything's just, it just feels like, it really feels like when you put, say, like oil and put something on top of oil and it just slides effortlessly. It's how this has been machined. Absolutely perfect. So that's your brush. I'll just move the pieces in. That's your brush broke down. Absolutely simple, all the pieces. And this is why I say H&S brushes are like big guys Lego. If you used Lego when you was a kid, you'll know the bits, how they go back together. You don't even need instructions to put these back together. Just watch this video now and you'll just learn it straight away. So if you want to put your front head assembly on, that is your front piece. You would get that, get your floating nozzle, drop that inside there, nice and simple. Get your front part of your brush, screw that on the front, just nip it up hand tight. You've not got to put a wrench on it, just nip that up. That's the front done. Cup, screw your cup on, that's that bit in. Back part of the body, screw that in like that, so that's in. Trigger, pull back, pinch and pull back like that, get your trigger, drop your trigger, that's the trigger in. Needle, locate to the back, slide down to the front, finger on the back, finger there, thumb, nip that up, done. Prong cap on, back piece, done. How easy is that? And that's what you want with a brush. Having that system of ease to strip down and put back together makes your airbrush life a hell of a lot easier. If that was a cheap brush now, you'd have these pieces still on the table. You'd have to be getting lubrication out on all the springs, and then you'd be fighting with trying to put the trigger in. That's why I recommend H&S, guys. Enjoy your journey with a quality brush.